Greetings, fellow Ambazonians. Greetings all over the world, at home, abroad. I bring you revolutionary greetings. Today is the sixth day of this month of January, and we have a very important and educative presentation to our people. As usual, these days people do not read newspaper, let alone have time to deal with things that are very important. I want to stress this because this is very important, and I want everybody to take their time to go through this video. It's very important. We are going to talk about Maurice Kamto. Maurice Kamto is the biggest opposition politician in Cameroon, and Cameroon is our oppressor, and it's important to know what is happening within that country. Maurice Kamto have presented the end of year speech with a lot of important content for Ambazonia that you need to pay attention to. Maurice Kamto is the president of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement. He's the biggest opposition party that won the last election in Cameroon but was cheated by Paul Biya. And in our context, our people have been handled politically for so much that people don't know what to believe in. I heard one of my people in my network was talking about John Baokoro having a presentation about Maurice Kamto and was raising certain questions that they were very confused. And at times we don't know who is our friend, we don't know who is our enemy. We don't know whether Maurice Kamto is a genuine politician or he's a fake person presented by Franks. When you are an oppressed person, you become so manipulated that you start to suspect everybody. But I want to assure our Ambazonians that Maurice Kamto is a genuine politician, and as they say, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So I want to remind una for sure na this picture for the fund them for Lekie for inside La Republique, where recently, as November this year, they make a funeral procession for Maurice Kamto, who is still alive, to bury him in order to show their love for Paul Biya, their own countryman. And this very chiefdom for Lekie division, when of a central region for Yaoundé, where they will make this ceremony for Maurice Kamto for bury. Now the same people that way Martinez Zogo, their pikin, if he died, they cry. They never even bury Martinez Zogo. They have not given him any proper burial. Yet they want to make a mockery and make a traditional ceremony to bury Maurice Kamto with the hope that Maurice Kamto will die. We had done the same thing with Paul Biya in Bamenda. So how did that work out for us? I don't know, but I want to show our people this picture so that they understand that Maurice Kamto is indeed the enemy of Paul Biya. And in war, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. We want to have more allied as possible. So anybody who is genuinely challenging Paul Biya, it is our interest to make sure that that person keeps a hit on the enemy. And it does not help Paul Biya to highlight Maurice Kamto, so we are going to do that. He said very important things that I want to play and share with our people so that they are also current with what is happening and will have variety of perception and different angles to our conflict. So let me bring up the video of Maurice Kamto end of year speech. And to mind my viewers, I have edited irrelevant parts of the video and just presented the part of the video where he talks about the war we have with La Republique du Cameroon. So everybody should have that in their mind.
A national awakening is essential if our country is to avoid the worst. Regarding the fratricidal conflict that has been going on for 7 years in the English-speaking regions of the country.
So I go to explain them for Pidgin and also for English because our culture, they may Omani understand me very well. Now Maurice come to this, the biggest opposition party. Would I see how member them for a group they fight Paul Biya even for abroad. So I don't want talk say me Oman no say the man at Tutruma where they fight Paul Biya also. We need to talk say our choice or whatever because Cameroon politics no concern with. But their internal dynamic it be of our interest because they talk something the way if it affect we. And if Cameroon is the chakara, it means a fine thing for we Ambazonia. And we need to know if we listen for which way they talk, we'll gain one or two things them. Because in the future, man need to know which way the man if he be. So if I make our people then get right perspective For another reason also na say tomorrow e too fit start come say one can campaign for inside Ambazonia and there is nothing we can do. Even we can stop him, but our people needs to hear our own perspective so that when they are listening to him or they are hearing broadcasts about him, they will know what to think about him. So it's very important for us to present him to our people as well. So one of the first thing we talk I go play and make una hear am again. Now the way we choose to describe the war will be ongoing inside our country. And mind you say the narrative for Paul Biya and he colleague them now for talk say the war it don't finish, normalcy don't return. So now hear how Maurice Kamto he could describe the war, make a play am again.
Conflict that has been going on for evening is essential if our country is to avoid the worst. Regarding the fratricidal conflict that has been going on for 7 years in the English-speaking regions of the
So he choose for call the word the fratricidal conflict. Fratricidal conflict come from fratricide. That means the killing of one's brother or sister, just like how Cain be go kill Abel. So it describe this war na a killing of their own brothers, and it be important make we know the type of terminology the way they use them. Na a fratricide. That means somebody wey dey kill the brother. So they call this war a very good word we use and we call this war for show we how we the francophone them some of them the one the way they be reasonable how they see this war. Na killing of their own brothers, a fratricide. And I want me to continue for here how which way he talk am.
country. The reality at the end of 2023 is that civil war is still claiming victims, despite the triumphant declarations of those who have chosen the military option to settle the conflict.
So he don't identify say there is a conflict and he don't describe the war as a fratricide. And now he did talk about something will be very important about the reality on the ground. He said despite the victorious speech where Paul Biya the game they claim victory, there are victims still going on the ground. Whether it is the Cameroon military, because they are also victims in some cases, because they are recruited. Once you are recruited by the government, sent to war, you have little choice but to fight for your own survival and to do what they tell you to do. And when they die, they are also victims. Of many of them, Cameroon military are from the poor family. They are not from the elite family in that country that they sent to come and die in Ambazonia. So there are victims on both sides. Our own people, our own soldiers are equal victim of this conflict that Paul Biya have choose to resolve it through the use of force and war. So, and it talks that despite the victory Paul Biya declare and say Cameroon don't get them already, there are still victims dying. And I want for re-emphasize the point where they talk and say, when I imagine say Paul Biya declare war because they kill 5 gendarmes, then it can talk something that they be better. The same week way for inside Menchum Valley for Grafi area for the then kill 14 Cameroon army them. So Paul Biya is not living in the reality. What Maurice Kamto is saying, it reflects the reality and is to show our people that Paul Biya is out of touch. This is Maurice Kamto explaining to the people that there are still victims. You are claiming that the war is better. You declare war because they kill 5 gendarmes. Last week they have killed 14 and you say things are getting better. So maybe we'll hear.
The Cameroonian government has already joined in mediation attempts, then suddenly denounced them without it being possible to grasp the political logic of its spectacular U-turn.
So Maurice Kamto the talk way to way una know am where the Cameroon government you know want me people they know am. Say Cameroon government it don't already enter for inside negotiation. And need the talk reference to the one for Canada. Because the one for Switzerland, Cameroon no be ever come for they be talk now only for been a talk say they go. They no be the talk even for the Ambazonia and they will be there for the in the negotiation for Canada, Cameroon government then sign for negotiation, then sign to grant power to negotiate, then sign for agree for the framework for negotiation, they sign for confidence building measures. We came out of that negotiation with 2 documents that were very powerful, and there are pictures that are being held for that particular meeting. So it was a genuine negotiation that the Cameroon government came into and make a U-turn to withdraw themselves from that negotiation. Of course, we know say Paul Biya didn't choose the war, and Paul Biya the entered the negotiation is not because he wanted, it was because he had international pressure. We should never forget about that. Despite the shortcoming of the Ambazonian participant and the sabotage effect that happened there, Paul Biya is the ultimate person who destroyed the negotiation because he was looking for an excuse. And once he see one, he jump on it. So let's hear what Maurice Kamto have to say.
It is as if they were simply maneuvers to lull the international community into complacency and buy time by sticking to its initial military option, which it has never changed.
So una hear wetin Maurice Kamto dey talk. The Cameroon option, Paul Biya option, na the military option. He never ever change am. Even when he become for negotiation, he will be not just for buy time, for deceive the international community, make them become complacent. And it work because for the most part, our own side will go for the will go mess up. Then give we prisoner release, sign all document will come up begin they argue about Twitter where Canadian people then put Twitter for outside. Once you don't already get the document for your hand way, there are Cameroon that already signed officially, say they will negotiate within a framework. Sign officially say they will release our prisoner them. Instead we go begin the argue about nonsense things them, and it can happen the way it happen. But it be important make our people then know say Cameroon if it don't bow for international pressure, for can negotiate for Canada, and I believe strongly say only international pressure if it bring Cameroon down to negotiate and to end this war that Paul Biya is pursuing. So maybe we'll continue for here with the Maurice Kamto the talk.
Fact, more than 3 years after the major national dialogue, the cosmetic resolutions adopted at these meetings have shown that they are not the long-awaited solution to the conflict.
So wait way the talk now an assessment where all man need to know. It is say from the Grand National Dialogue where Cameroon be organize them, all the solution the way they began are cosmetic, not just thing for pens, something me look good outside, but way for inside, nothing no dey. Now cosmetic solution the way they give 'em. You look at the whole thing about the Grand National Dialogue were all cosmetic solution. And our people they need to know am say even Maurice Kamto he talk say the solution they not be the one way population one time. Now why that way 3 years after national grand dialogue, the war it still go on. So more we hear wait away it
For the Cameroonian Renaissance Movement, CRM, as we have stated on several occasions, the Anglophone question and its generated conflict cannot be sustainably resolved by arms. I, therefore, reiterate the urgent need to finally organize a genuine and inclusive national dialogue, including the participant of those who claim to be of the southern Cameroons.
So wait till Maurice Kamto the talk. It be important make people they know. He don't talk say the Grand National Dialogue he failed because they give cosmetic solution. He don't talk say Paul Biya after the Grand National Dialogue problem never solved because nobody answer that way people they be the wait am. And at the end, he the one bring his own solution. Maurice come to talk say he too when he be president or his solution I say he too go can create waiting the national dialogue. So Maurice Kamto at the end of the day, he still talk the same way the Paul Biya they talk. But this is only different because he talk say genuine say go create a genuine national dialogue plus the participant the way they call themselves Southern Cameroonians. You know I use the name Ambazonian. But definitely they talk about us Ambazonians. Say the leaderships of the various Ambazonian groups will be invited. And I just want to let our people meet understand. Say during the Grand National Dialogue, all the Amazonian leaders were invited, including myself. I received the invitation, the promise to pay ticket and give all those type of things. And I told them at that moment that We are part of a movement. All Ambazonian leaders will decide together, I cannot come, I will not come, no matter what circumstances they give. And they try to propose that they are going to give some allowance, their way of proposing bribe. I outrightly reject them and I made it public. It was only after I declared publicly that I was invited and I'm not going. I even sent, I think, the air ticket they were trying to send to me for the public to see, because we need to protect the integrity. In hindsight, I think that the Grand National Dialogue that Pobia instituted, we could have addressed that Grand National Dialogue, not participate, but address it and make our own point. Because the point, Pobia, the strategy of Cameroon is to make us so angry that when important conversations wants to take place, we are running away and our voice is not heard. We could not participate, but we could address them and we tell them that you have decided to organize your Grand National Dialogue. This is not a genuine Grand National Dialogue that you wanted everybody to come, because the ban against the consortium is still in place. The war is still going on. And if you go to gather there, this is the demand of our people. We are asking you that you have to justify the presence of Cameroon in Ambazonia, and all those questions we could pose them and send a document there and say that these are the things that this is why we cannot attend. These are the reasons of the war. These are the questions we have asked you people. And we prefer to have an internationally mediated negotiation. So that is what we could have done. At that moment, we could have not gone there, but we could address them. Remember that when the war in North Korea was taking place, the United States called for meeting in the Security Council, and China boycotted. I think Russia boycotted and China boycotted, something like that. It resulted in the United Nations Security Council passing a resolution that the whole United Nations went to war against North Korea, supporting South Korea. But the Chinese and the Russians could have been there and made their veto. So we could not go there, but we could address it. We just dismiss it that this is a non-starter. We no one hear with anything. In that anger, we did not make a point. We should make a point. So I have I have made a point about the Grand National Dialogue and their conclusion. I've told the Cameroon government that those things do not meet up with our aspiration. They do not resolve the Anglophone problem. That is called Anglophone problem, is a problem of unity, that we have questioned the how we were united with Cameroon, and the lack of the Union Treaty, and all those points we have made them across. So I will focus on the message of Maurice Kamto so that I address it down the line. He will still bring up similar things along this line. So let's listen.
Of those who claim to be of the southern Cameroons, during which the form of the state and the introduction of federalism will be particularly discussed.
So Maurice Kamto is solution na seweti. He go organize genuine grand national dialogue. In a genuine grand national dialogue, those who consider themselves as Ambazonians or Southern Cameroons will be invited. Then in that discussion, they are also going to talk about federalism. Remember that Maurice Kamto is not talking about international mediation. The same like Paul Biya, he's not talking about mediation, international mediation. And I will get back to that very shortly. Let's hear what he has to say.
All those yearning for change, I reiterate, I will not betray you. In the next few weeks, the PAC will announce its activities in support of my candidacy.
So Maurice Kamto, they then create an alliance of over 30 political parties together with civil society groups in Cameroon. They have come together to form what they call PAC. That is, is that a political alliance or what? Alliance for change or something like that. And he is the main person there. And I want our people to understand, Cameroon is a dictatorship. There is no way we can expect any free and fair elections. Otherwise, Maurice Kamto will beat Paul Biya. Fundi could have beat Paul Biya. But there is no free and fair elections. We have seen that Cameroon even used fake election observers, where they brought some retired people from France to come and misrepresent themselves as being is it the international observers. It turned out that they were not. It was a scandal, and there is no hope that Cameroon can have free and fair election. So Maurice Kamto is just playing trying his own game there, like the rest people who have done so before him, and there is no chance to win Paul Biya through the ballot box. So those who say that they are trusting in him and waiting for him, I don't think anything is possible. The only way to remove Paul Biya from power is going to be through a military coup d'etat, military intervention, or an act of God where he is dead. Suddenly, his next in line is also dead, or they have some infighting that expose them to kill each other, and then that country can be saved. There is no way Maurice Kamto can beat Paul Biya in election. It's just not possible. So, make we hear what he go talk. This one be very important. This last part.
But I can already tell you that the central themes of my campaign will include.
Before he gets there, I want to remind you about something. About 30 political parties and civil society that don't join for form one political group against Paul Biya. But I want also to make our people know Cameroon have over 400 political parties. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 400 political parties. So even when Maurice Kamto said 30 political parties and different movements have joined him, parties in La Republic have become just like everybody can open his own party. Paul Biya want them to be as many as possible to neutralize anybody. So there are very few real organizations that have big following in Cameroon that can call themselves as political parties. So I want to know that Cameroon a kangaroo country. 400 political parties, ridiculous. In America, they have 2 major political parties, and to have over 400 people who are eyeing for that thing, it just shows that it's not a genuine democratic exercise. It's not a genuine political environment. It's a farce. So let's listen to what he has to say. This is important.
Tell you that the central themes of my campaign will include an end to the fratricidal war in the English-speaking regions of the Northwest and Southwest, and the organization, as soon as possible, of a genuine, inclusive national dialogue, including all the actors, during which there will be no taboo subject, not even that of the form of the state or the introduction of federalism in our country. Constitutional, legislative, and
so it be important make our people to understand. Maurice Kamto is not willing to negotiate when independence is on the table. I've read all of his writings. I've followed him very closely to hear what he has to say. There is no difference between what he is saying or what he is planning to do with what Paul Biya has done or what Paul Biya will do. The only difference is that he appeared to be genuine, and he called his own genuine national dialogue. And on his own, they are going to have discussion about federalism on the table, including Ambazonian groups. I want to let you people to know that even the Cameroon Grand National Dialogue federalism was discussed. It's just that they brushed it aside because it was full of Paul Biyas and his CPDM people. So he's not proposing anything different, but he's more genuine. And I don't think he will have a chance to ever have that power to do what he hopes he can do. Otherwise, he will be a better person. But Ambazonia should understand that even Maurice Kamto, who is the opposition party in Cameroon, will not negotiate or discuss about independence. As he has admitted it, it speaks even louder than what he has said. He said they are going to come, there will be no taboo topic. Maybe that may include independence, but we are very sure that in his previous statements, he has said absolutely that there is no chance of discussing independence for Ambazonia. So nobody should be deceived by not hearing him specifically talking about our independence to think that he is different from Paul Biya. The Francophones, for the most part, 98% of them wants the country to remain together. And they are willing to allow Paul Biya or not to go against the war so much. But the good thing is that Maurice Kamto said that if he is the president, he is going to end the war. Immediately, he's going to end the war. And practically, what would that mean? End the war. you stop fighting, Ambazonia is not going to stop fighting because our people are fighting for independence. Your people want us to stay. If you withdraw your troops, that will be a different thing. But to say you stop fighting, you should say you withdraw the troops, stop the militarization, declare truce, and get to negotiation about the future of that territory. But we know that that is not what Maurice Kamto is talking about. So when he says he's going to stop the war, it's just politics. Our people should not be deceived. You cannot just say you're going to stop the war. If he had a plan, but we know that he have the objective that he don't want the war to continue. So he would prefer not to use the method that Paul Biya have preferred, because Paul Biya have preferred war. And he has said that he's not going to choose that as his primary way. But nobody should be delusional. As I've told our people, always keep your sanity and you'll be fine. We must come together, unite, and see how we can have the maximum chance to free our people and make progress. Right now, within Cameroon, there is no partner that is going to be tolerant to our quest for independence. It just works in favor of the main criminal there, Mr. Paul Biya, who is trying to kill everybody, including his opposition. The fact that Maurice Kamto himself will not tolerate independence or specifically talk about it being on the table should give an indication to our people the flexibility we can expect in Cameroon if Paul Biya himself is not there. And when you ask what is obviously repulsive and irritating to a bully, you don't have many more chances. The only way we have to have independence, there are only two ways. One, we can win on the ground. Two, we can convince the international community to put the pressure on Cameroon like they did for the case in Southern Sudan. The chances of us pulling any of those two options have not just diminished but have practically evaporated. It is in our favor now to speak in a term that can have the international attention and that is attainable. And in that case, we are going to have a say, we are going to make progress that is going to preserve our chance for independence. Because if we take risk without preserving this, our chance of independence, we may burn out our candle and the future generation will remain in darkness. So this is the speech of Maurice Kamto. I want to highlight it for every Ambazonian to be critical in their thinking. In this time, we need a very critical population, and we have a lot of fake people out there who are taking this struggle and the life of our people for social media experiment. And it's very important that we lay emphasis on the reality in the international community and even in La République du Cameroon. So Maurice Kamto, we appreciate the certain aspect of his speech. Number one is that he has declared publicly that he's going to end the war. We can hold him on that. Whatever he means by ending the war is left to be seen. We want to let him know that we remember the speech where he said that there is no independence for Ambazonia. He can never negotiate for independence for Ambazonia. So he cannot come and play mind games with our population and deceive them to think that he is something which he is not. Our population cannot be blindsided. That is the reason why we are here to pass this information to them. Maurice Kamto have also proposed constitutional changes and things like that, which are very, very important to guarantee any future agreement with La République du Cameroon, and so on and so forth. He has said that the National Grand Dialogue was cosmetic solution. So he intends to bring real solution, and he mentioned constitutional changes, which is very different from what Paul Biya is doing. For the most part, generally, it is the same thing, the same country we are facing. Ambazonia, we must decide for ourselves how we move forward, like I've said. And it is my responsibility as somebody who have been in this struggle as an anchor, have led people to war, buy weapons, fight for our people to make sure that we do the right thing. And together, we will do the right thing. God bless you all. Have a blessed sky wherever you are. Ciao.